The results for the baseline survey, one of them is that we can clearly see that there's differences across regions. And we don't really think that has anything to do with how farmers are managing. We think that's a lot more to do with things that are outside of farmers' control, right? Thinking about soil types and climate. You can imagine climate is very different in New York and Wisconsin than it is in Idaho and Texas and New Mexico. And just those differences are going to drive the ability of soils to function and store carbon. So there's these sort of big picture regional differences, and then within regions, we've set up our experiment so that we could start to dig at this management effect. So does management within regions have an impact on soil health and soil carbon? And we clearly see in the data that that's true. In New York and Wisconsin, we were able to sample some rotationally grazed pastures in comparison to traditional row crop where you're growing corn and alfalfa. And those rotationally grazed pastures have greater soil health and greater carbon. And then within those row crop systems, we sort of did a broad categorization of soils that have more intensive tillage and soils that have reduced tillage, and soils that have fields that have cover crops and don't have cover crops. And what we see is that the most effective way to build soil health and carbon on these dairy feed fields is the use of either cover crops or perennials. So increasing the days that you have living roots in the ground is the most effective way to build soil health and carbon on dairy feed fields.